there's me. Start all. Boom. Awesome. Awesome. We're live. Good morning. Another day. Another chapter to edit. Got the bedhead kicking hard. So, slept well last night. Had a deep dream, kind of disturbing dream. Another one. And then kind of tossed for the last 3 hours of sleep. Hence, this hairdo. You know what? I make this look good. It's fine. That was healthy. So, back. Doing chapter 11. No. Shut up, micro me. Second cup of coffee of the day. I've been up for a minute, let the dog out. Gave the animals their greens. Need to turn that light off behind me. Yeah. Guten Morgen. Okay. So, let's get off of the OBS, switch over to the ChatGPT, and I popped in the chapter last night. I always try to throw something in and ask for suggestions before I start editing, so I have an idea as to what to look for. This is a strong chapter emotionally and thematically. Before you dive into line edits, here's what I'd recommend keeping in mind so you don't accidentally sand down what's working. 1. Know what chapter 11 is and is not. Chapter 11 is not about breaking the curse. It is about redefining what true love actually means for both of them. So as you edit, keep this guiding sentence in mind. This chapter moves the story from love as a spectacle or proof to love as choice, patience, and consent. If a paragraph rushes toward resolution, feels like it's trying to earn the curse breaking or explain love too clearly, it's probably working against the chapter's purpose. Let the curse remain intact. That restraint is one of the chapter's strengths. Protect Arista's agency at all costs. You've done something very important here. Arista is not redeemed by Garrett. She is revealed through him. While editing, watch for moments where Garrett sounds like a therapist delivering a lecture. His dialogue becomes too polished or authorial, meaning me, my voice. Her pain feels answered instead of witnessed. Good litmus test. Does this line let Arista remain dangerous, wounded, and autonomous? If the answer is no, soften Garrett, not her. Watch for repetition versus reinforcement. I do this a lot. This chapter needs repetition emotionally, but not verbally. As you edit, look for multiple paragraphs that say, I am unlovable, I ruin everything, in similar language, Garrett restating the same philosophy of love more than once. You don't need to cut these ideas, just compress them so that each return adds a new angle. Shame to regret, to fear of future harm, love is entitlement, love is worship, love is endurance. If a paragraph doesn't advance her self-concept, consider trimming or merging it. Be careful of Garrett's wisdom level. Garrett is empathetic, not enlightened. During edit passes, ask, would this man, half drowned and terrified, really phrase it this cleanly? Was this insight from lived pain or from the author? His best moments are when he admits uncertainty, he stumbles verbally, he chooses presence over answers. If a line sounds like it belongs in a relationship TED Talk, roughen it slightly. And that's really good advice. I want Garrett to be very base. Like, he's the one that we know as a royal, but at the same time, he's a very basic dude. Like, he's not all that refined. Maintain physical tension even during dialogue. You're very good at this already, just don't lose it in the revisions. While editing, keep reminding us where the tentacles are, who is standing, who is seated, how close they are physically when emotional truths land. The danger should never really fully leave the room. Love here grows inside threat, not after it. The skull scene, treat it like sacred ground. That section is doing heavy symbolic work. Past lovers, fear responses, consent violations, projection versus reality. Avoid over-commentary from Garrett. The skulls don't need interpretation, they are the interpretation. End state check. What should feel different? By the end of chapter 11, trust has begun but not formed. Love has been redefined, not achieved. The curse remains, but its logic is cracked. If your edit accidentally makes the ending feel safer, more hopeful than earned, closer to resolution, pull back. The final line is excellent because it promises inevitability, not comfort. Practical edit order recommended. I really like this. When you sit down tonight or today, first pass, cut only repetition, no rewrites yet. Second pass, roughen Garrett's clean lines. Third pass, tighten Arista's monologue without reducing vulnerability. Final pass, check physical positioning scene-wide. Stop there, don't polish further. Bottom line, you're writing a story where love is not a reward, trauma isn't cured by devotion, and monsters are allowed to be loved without becoming safe. Chapter 11 honors that. Edit like you're clearing fog, not reshaping terrain. Okay. So my objective here is to make things clear, cut repetition, make sure that Garrett is guttural, is a simple man, like I designed him to be. Designed. It's a word now. It's on the internet. It has to be a word now. Designed him to be, and tighten Arista's monologue. Which is tough when you're dealing with a royal, poetic character with an ancient tonality. Tightening your stuff is tough. Sounds like distant thunder. It's actually a snowplow coming through. Yay, Minnesota. Alright. So, let's make this big. Boom. 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 One moment. I think I actually want to write something down. Hello, baby. Alright, I'm back. Throat's a little bit rough. Really hoping this chapter won't take too long to get through, but I'm seeing it's got 2,994 words. It'd be awesome if I could trim that down to at least 2,800-ish. Because right now I'm close to 3,000. I really want to keep this book decently small, but this is one of those pivotal chapters. I mean, what are we doing here? We're talking about love, so it's a big philosophical discussion. And we're talking about the backstory of Arista, how she got into this state. And we're revealing a little bit, just a peek at what Garrett's upbringing must have been like for him to have these philosophies. So, practical edit order, that's right. So let's do this for me. First pass, check for, why do I keep misspelling that word? Repetition. It's a big deal with me. I do it a lot, and yet I can't seem to remember how to spell it right. Repetition. R-E-P-E-T-I-T-I-O-N. Repetition, which is a repetition of the E's and the I's. Repetition. Okay. Second pass. Roughen Garrett's speech. Garrett's got a bit of a dumb emotionality to him. Like, tighten Arista's monologue. And tighten Arista's monologue, and polished backstory. Like, I got some ideas for her backstory. I've done a little research into mermaids, and apparently there is some mention of mermaids and sirens in the Book of Enoch. And most of my writing, like the other book that I'm working on, my whole story with Jost and High Elves and the hero's journey that I'm really focusing on, is like my magnum opus, my grand work of my life, like the series that I really want to be committed to. Relies heavily on the Book of Enoch and biblical references and like pre-Diluvian type of stuff, and there's enough mermaid myth where I can pop that in here. So I'm really thinking I'm going to fine-tune this chapter in particular to carry some of those elements. And then 4, final pass, check physical positioning. Okay. And I like that better, hopefully, this method of going through it 4 times, specifically looking for certain things, is going to help me to do this a lot faster than trying to chug through it and slog. It's a word that worked its way into my dictum yesterday, slog through it the way I have been doing, where like my last edit took nearly 7 hours to get through 9 pages. So, first pass, check for repetition. Ugh. Arista remained coiled along the cavern's edge, half swallowed by shadow. Her expression flickered with every heartbeat. Fear at her nearness, disgust at herself, mistrust sharpening into anger and back again. She looked torn apart by her own conflicting instincts. Arista remained coiled along the cavern's edges. Along the cavern's edges. Okay, I mean, I'm not supposed to be working on the physicality or like positioning right now, but that's not right. Remain coiled along the cavern's edges. Along the light's edge. Half swallowed by shadow. Arista remained coiled along the light's edge. What if Arista remained coiled at the edge of the light? Arista remained coiled along the light's edge. I guess we'll leave that for now. Swallowed by shadow. Half swallowed by shadow. Her expression flickered with every heartbeat. Fear at her nearness, disgust at herself, mistrust sharpening into anger and back again. She looked torn apart by her own conflicting instincts. Garrett swallowed and stepped forward. Slowly, palms open. He had never seen her so uncertain. Arista. Does it need to be in its own line? I mean, we already have Garrett established here. No. Her voice cracked through the cavern like a whip. Several massive tentacles struck the stone at once. Do I need a "the" struck stone at once, the impact booming through the chamber and sending heaps of tarnished treasure cascading to the floor. And gold does not tarnish. Well, there you are. Shining treasure, shimmering treasure. I think shimmering. Before Garrett could react, one of those limbs lashed out with startling speed. His world inverted. What is this? No, her voice cracked through the cavern like a whip. Several massive tentacles struck stone at once, the impact booming through the chamber and sending heaps of shimmering treasure cascading to the floor. Before Garrett could react, one of those limbs lashed out with startling speed. His world inverted. Inverting his world? A slick, iron-strung tentacle coiled around his ankle and hoisted him upside down. Lifting him high above the glowing pools. The blood rushed to his head, and the cavern spun. Arista wait, he managed, but she wasn't listening. Not yet. I don't think I need this not yet. It's pretty obvious that she's not listening. Arista wait, he managed, but she wasn't listening. No more lies, she screamed, raw, panicked, as if the very sound tore up her throat. The cavern shook with the force of it. No more lies, she screamed, raw, panicked, as if the very sound tore. I don't feel like I need the word up. As if the very sound tore her throat. The cavern shook with the force of it. A wave of tentacles surged outward, striking stones, scattering rusted treasure with sharp metallic clatter. No more lies, she screamed, raw, panicked, as if the very sound tore her throat. The cavern shook with the force of it. A wave of tentacles surged outward, striking stone, scattering rusted treasure with sharp metallic clatter. A wave of tentacles surged outward. wave of tentacles surged outward, striking stone. And scattering. Again, we take out rusted. Gold does not rust. It is a high metal. Scattering treasure with a sharp metallic clatter. Across the floor. Garrett barely had time to gasp before one powerful limb coiled around his ankle and yanked him off the ground. The world spun. So I have that happening twice. Coiled around his ankle and hoisted him upside down, lifting him from the ground. Above the ground, Garrett barely had time to gasp. Okay, so yeah, that's an issue. This is describing what's happening here. So, who's doing it better? Okay. Yeah, I already said this. Cleaner and simpler and more poetically. His world inverted before it could react. One of those limbs lashed out, starting with speed. His world inverted. Slick, iron strong. All of this. These two smaller paragraphs are doing what these three lines are doing, and this ends with simile, which can be fine in some cases, but in this case, I don't really need that. I don't need that at all. Like, it's strongly implied. Arista, wait, he managed, but she wasn't listening. Arista, he choked, reaching instinctively toward the tentacle, gripping him. And I want to say as if to unbind it, but then again, that's an implied action. Like, duh, of course that's what he's reaching for it for. He's not trying to hold her hand. He's trying to get himself loose. Arista, he choked. Lou, zip it. No. Oh, Lou, shut up. It's some dude with two tiny dogs across the parking lot. Just stop. Arista, he choked, reaching. Lula, no. Lula Bell, go lay down. You need to go to bed? Do you need to go to bed? That's what I thought. No. Lulabelle, stop. It's a dude with a bucket. Dude's just taking care of trash. Like, dude's on poop duty. He's got enough issue. And he can't even hear you. Shut up. Arista, he choked, reaching toward the tentacle, gripping him as if he could unbind it. I'm not lying to you. Arista, he choked as he reached toward the tentacle gripping him. Yeah, as if he could unbind it. I don't like that. It's too wordy. Arista, he choked, folding himself upward to reach. Folding himself upward to reach the tentacle gripping him. I'm not lying to you. You are, she hissed. You must be. You should be. Her voice shuddered between fury and despair. Remember, I'm supposed to just be looking for repetition at this point. Instead of doing fine edits, but I'm doing all of, yeah. Oh well, habits. I got habits. Arista remained coiled along the light's edge, half swallowed by shadow. Her expression flickered with every heartbeat. Fear at his nearness, disgust at herself, mistrust sharpening into anger and back again. She looked torn apart by her own conflicting instincts. Garrett swallowed and stepped forward, slowly, palms open. He had never seen her so uncertain. Arista, no, her voice cracked through the cavern like a whip. Several massive tentacles struck stone at once, the impact booming through the chamber and sending heaps of shimmering treasure cascading to the floor. Before Garrett could react, one of those limbs lashed out with startling speed. His world inverted. A slick, iron-strong tentacle coiled around his ankle and hoisted him upside down, lifting him high above the glowing pools. The blood rushed to his head, and the cavern spun. Arista, wait, he managed, but she wasn't listening. No more lies, she screamed, raw, panicked, as if the very sound tore her throat. As if the very sound tore her throat. Raw, panicked, as if her own voice tore her throat. Raw, panicked, as if her desperation tore her throat. It's so sad. Like, my phone makes a little alarm, like I got a notice about something, and my first thought is like, is it my wife? I'm becoming such a simp, and it's sad. It's like she's pulling away. Like, she sees me trying to fix things. She sees me trying to find a job and failing. She sees me trying to be independent and failing. She sees me not developing a life like she just magically thought that I would. Like, you'll get a circle of friends and you'll get other people. And it's like, I'm not that guy. Like, people attach to me. I don't attach to other people. It's always been that way. Arista, he choked, folding himself upward to reach the tentacle gripping him. I'm not lying to you. And like attracts like. So, like, the friends that I make have their own mental problems, have their own shit that they're going through. So I don't feel right leaning on them when I'm having a bad day. Like, I have a depressed day. I've tried reaching out to people, and it turns out, hey, everyone is fucking depressed. Everyone is going through shit. So I don't feel right trying to lean on them when they're having their own struggles. Instead, it ends up with me just checking up on people and being like, how are you? Are you okay? Which is great. It gives me a chance to get out of my own head. Arista, he choked, folding himself upward to reach the tentacle gripping him. I'm not lying to you. No more lies, she screamed, raw, panicked, as if the very sound tore her throat. As if her own urgency tore her throat, as if I feel like that can be merged. The very sound. I think that's the issue that I have. That's what I have an issue with. Raw panic, as if the very sound tore her throat. Like the very sound. I don't like the sound of the very sound in this sentence. Raw panicked, as if her voice tore at her throat. As if her own voice tore her throat. The cavern shook with the force of it. A wave of tentacles surged outward, striking stone and scattering treasure with a sharp metallic clatter across the floor. Arista, he choked, folding himself upward to reach the tentacle gripping him. I'm not lying to you. You are, she hissed. You must be. You should be. Her voice shuddered between fury and despair. Tone shuddering between fury and despair. More limbs writhed through the shadows behind her, not striking him, but thrashing at the cavern as if she wanted to tear the world apart to escape herself. Do I need to escape herself? More limbs writhed through the shadows behind her, not striking. Not striking but thrashing at the air as if she wanted to tear the world apart. To escape herself. So you heard that. No one sees this, me, and stays. No one sees this, me, and stays. I feel like I could expand this and do a little bit more of a monologue on her behalf. No one sees this, me, and stays. Her face flickered in and out of view behind the slithering limbs, regal, monstrous, terrified. His face flickered in and out of view between the slithering limbs. Regal, monstrous, terrified. Put me down, Garrett said softly, and I'll prove it. Do I need this sentence? The cavern floor transformed into a field of golden light dancing and twirling before his eyes in stark contrast to the gothic shadowed beauty suspending him. That sentence is doing a lot, and I don't know if it's necessary. Suspending him. Once again. Stuck between worlds. Copy. Add it to this section, but the middle line feels heavy and overworked. How can I express this more smoothly, or should I not bother with it at all? And I add a ton of space because I'm too lazy to add like quotation marks or put stuff in brackets like I simply should. Add a bunch of space, so it's a new line, new paragraph, because return doesn't work on this. And this chat's getting long, so the reactions are getting slower. You're right, Strutzius. The image is good, but the sentence is doing too much at once. Yeah, the idea belongs. The weight is the issue. Yeah, okay. Let's break down why it feels overworked, then I'll give you a clean options depending on how much you want to keep. Why the middle line feels heavy. This part is carrying 3 jobs at once. Yeah, visual description, golden light, dancing, twirling, mood contrast, gold versus gothic shadow, thematic metaphor between worlds. There's a lot for one sentence in the middle of a high-tension moment when he's hanging upside down. The reader's nervous system is already engaged. They don't need ornate language and abstraction at the same time. The problem isn't the idea, it's the stacking. Option 1, keep the image, lose the abstraction recommended. Let the visuals do the work and cut the explicit metaphor. It's not a bad idea. Put me down, Garrett said softly. I'll prove it. The cavern floor spun below him, a field of gold light flickering between the gothic shadows that held him suspended. Yeah. Keep the contrast, keep the disorientation, trust the reader to feel between the worlds without being told. Option 2, keep the metaphor, simplify the image. In between worlds matters more to you than the visual flourish. If in between worlds. Put me down, Garrett said softly, and I'll prove it. The cavern blurred below him, golden light and shadow twisting together, leaving him once again caught between worlds. I don't hate that. Option 3, strip it to pure sensation, strongest under tension. Ooh. This is the leanest, most kinetic version. Put me down, Garrett said softly, and I'll prove it. The gold-lit cavern spun beneath him. Gold-lit cavern, gold-lit floor. Gold-scattered floor. Spun beneath him, light and shadow bleeding together as he hung suspended. This trusts physical vertigo to carry the momentum. Option 4, cut it entirely. Put me down, Garrett said softly, and I'll prove it. Then move straight into her reaction. You return to this between worlds theme later with more space to breathe. Okay. Sometimes restraint is the smoother choice. My honest recommendation? Go with option 1 or 3. They preserve the voice without pausing the scene to admire itself. You're writing best when the prose feels like it's keeping pace with Garrett's pulse, slightly poetic, slightly breathless, never contemplated while he's literally dangling over a glowing abyss. You don't need to explain the symbolism here, you already earned it elsewhere. Okay, so 1 to 3. Cavern floor spun below him, a field of gold light flickering. Yeah, the cavern floor spun below him. I like that. A field of gold light flickering beneath the gothic shadows that held him suspended. Yeah. That's the ticket. Okay. Alright. And that. Yeah, that works. That totally works. Boom. And then what? Space. Alright, put me down, Garrett said softly, and I'll prove it. The cavern floor spun below him, a field of gold light flickering beneath the gothic shadows that held him suspended. You'll run. Her voice splintered into something small, something terribly young. Terribly young. I kind of like that because young implies innocent and cruel at the same time. You'll run, her voice splintered into something small, something terribly young. Or you'll scream. Or you'll fight like the others. They all do. They all beg or curse or bargain until they die, and I... She cut herself off, tentacles tightening with a painful twitch. I don't want to hear another man lie. I like that. I'm wondering if I don't need to make it a little more poetic. Like, she's very blunt, she's very direct, she's very precise. And I like Arista to have more of a regal tonality to her, more of a whimsical, poetic, rhyming sort of way of speaking. Oh, good boy, Rizzy. Rizzy's eating his greens. I really gotta do better about getting him more greens. I gotta try some greater variety in his diet. Yeah, hey buddy. I gotta see about trying to get out and do a special shopping trip for you. Revise my list of veg that I can give you and get you some more bugs. Hi Lou, what you bugging me for? Is it because I looked at Rizzy and gave him love with my eyes? So now you gotta come up and demand attention too? I really gotta go through this box and sell some shit and get rid of some shit. Transformers. Revenge of the Fallen. I can get rid of that. I can get rid of a lot of these movies that I got just sitting in this tub. I don't need this tub. I need to go through stuff. I gotta talk to the wife about our living arrangement. This Kiki's Delivery Service. Well, that's Amanda's movie. Why did she put that there for me? Alright. How long have I been doing this? 48 minutes on one page. I got it. Yeah, I'm being very picky about this. But I would love this to be like my last revision, you know? Like, I don't really want to edit it again. I don't want to pay for an editor. I looked at what editors charge, and it's kind of ridiculous. Like 80,000 words. The going rate for that is between $1,000 and $6,000, and I'm shooting for around 40,000 words, which means at a minimum I'm looking at $500 to get this edited. And I don't have $500 for editing. I don't. I'm doing this because I desperately need to make money. I don't really have editor money right now, which sucks. If anyone's interested in me editing, I'm definitely considering it. Especially a portable Puerto Rican. I got your invite. We got to talk terms. It said 17,000. I'm considering pricing right now. But like the going rate is between like $35 and $65 an hour. So that would have been like the hour that I've spent on this. Yeah, I could see that being like $35, which that's a lot. That's a lot. Then if your novella is only 17,000 words, it's really not a lot. I think, yeah, I don't know. Alright, let's get out of that mindset. Garrett winced at the pressure on his ankle, but forced calm into his voice. I feel like pressure is one of those words that I tend to overuse in this section quite a bit. Hip forward, palms open, never seen screamed in raw panic in her own voice. I haven't used it in the first page, so this will be the first time in this chapter that I'm using the word pressure. What about shadows? repetitions do I need to watch for in this chapter? What are my most overused words? Garrett winced at the pressure on his ankle, but forced calm into his voice. Then let me speak the truth. Something in that made her freeze. Not release him. Yeah, but stop moving entirely. Most overused words in this chapter. This is a strong chapter, but you're right to ask this now. You're at the stage where micro repetition, not big ideas, is the thing that will quietly dull its edge. I'll break this into 3 parts. Concrete, overused words, the ones to actively hunt. Conceptual repetitions, ideas you restate too often. Rhythmic repetitions, sentence patterns to watch. Most overused words in this chapter. These aren't bad words, they're doing too much labor too often. Shadow, darkness, dark. You use these constantly. Shadows, darkness, shadow, dark. They work, but they're doing the same atmospheric job repeatedly. What to watch for? Multiple uses in the same paragraph. Shadow described when nothing has changed visually. See, again, I get a little notice and my heart races like, is it the wife? Idea of replacing all of them, delete half. Instead of replacing all of them, delete half and let proximity, pressure, sound, scent carry the scene. Darkness is strongest when it's implied, not named. Ooh, I wish you would stop fucking with the blinds. Again, not the wife. Said it's the stupid Finch app, which it's to remind me to stay moving and to do stuff and to be, proactive about my life, but it's a little sad when you've got a virtual bird contacting you and be like, you're not alone. Like, yeah, I kind of am. I mean, I got my pets, and they do so much to help. Let's see. Garrett winced at the pressure on his ankle, but forced calm into his voice. Then let me speak the truth. Then I'll speak the truth. Then I'll speak the truth. I kind of want to change that to then I'll be honest, or let me be honest, but I like her saying truth afterwards in a whisper. I like that reaction from her, so I need truth. And I'll speak the truth. But I don't like he winced at the pressure on his ankle, but forced calm into his voice. With a calm surrender. Then I'll speak the truth. Something in that made her freeze. Not release him, but stop moving entirely. The air felt crushed between them. Not release him, but stop moving. Hey, and there she is. She actually texted me now. That feels a little better now. That touches my heart. Just hi, morning. I like seeing the cheese. Yeah. She got me an advent calendar of cheeses, and so the past couple days I've just been taking pictures of the cheese before I put it on a cracker to show her like, what the cheese of the day is. Garrett winced at the pressure on his ankle, but spoke with a calm surrender. But spoke with calm surrender. I don't need the word a, do I? Spoke with calm surrender. Maybe I do need a. Maybe I need the a to do the lifting there. A, calm surrender. Let's try calm surrender. One word. Less words is better. More words kills the moment, slows momentum. Garrett winced at the pressure on his ankle, but spoke with calm surrender. Then I'll speak the truth. Spoke and then speak. That's an issue. Garrett winced at the pressure on his ankle, but spoke with calm surrender. Then I'll speak the truth, which almost at least like throw a back in there, because then I've got a little more pacing between spoke and speak in order to break those words up, because they are way too similar. Garrett winced at the pressure. What are you doing, Riz? I gotta check on my boy. Make sure there's no animals behind my wheel. Hi, Lou. What did you do? Oh, you pooped. You pooped. Yes, you did. Look at that green poop. Hi. Hey, buddy. So he's got a thing where when my lizard poops, he immediately has to run from his poop, which, good for him. Good for him. The number one way the lizards end up having salmonella is from their feces. So the fact that he runs from it is intelligence in my mind. I recently figured out how to place his food so that he ends up pooping in sand, which is so much better. Hi, dude. Look at that dignified, regal face. Yeah, hey, buddy. Kind of want to grab more coffee. Winced at the pressure on his ankle, but spoke with calm surrender. Then I'll speak the truth. Then I'll tell the truth. And that does the other job that I wanted him to do, where I get to be poetic in my narration. Garrett does not get to be poetic in his speech. Garrett he's a man. He's even though he's a royal, there's something about him where he's just he's more blunt, he's too honest. Maybe he's autistic. I mean, he is a protagonist, and why would you ever have a non-autistic protagonist? They're just boring. Yeah. Everybody's got to be on the spectrum, otherwise they're not interesting. They're like everybody else then. It's the term neurotypical. Neurotypical. Ew. What? Oh, you finished your food? You need a treat? Yes, Mojo. Lula gets a treat, therefore Mojo gets a treat. Yeah, buddy. Here you go. Here you go, Mo. Good boy. Yeah. up, Rizzy? What's that? No, what's that? Good boy. Good boy. There. Quick round of giving treats to the dog, the rabbit, and the lizard. Well, not treats for the lizard. He got his a superworm, which I hate feeding him superworms, but they're hardy as hell. I ordered him a case of crickets from Amazon, and they delivered a box of 500 dead crickets. It was annoying as hell. Oh, we got to play with the Triceratops now? Okay. Lula brought me her Triceratops. Ooh, get it. Good girl. Good girl. So now she needs playtime, and if she needs playtime, she's going to need poop time. So this is going to require a part 2. Garrett winced at the pressure on his ankle, but spoke with calm surrender. Then I'll tell the truth. He shrugged. Something in that made her freeze, not release him, but stop moving. The air felt crushed between them. She had turned him toward her. Mojo, stop, dude. Mojo, knock it off. Stop. She had turned him toward her and seemed to have forgotten her shame. Forgetting her shame as she studied his flushed red face. Flushed face. The air felt crushed between them. She had turned him toward her, forgetting her shame as she studied his flushed face. Truth? She whispered. He swallowed. Truth, she whispered. Yes, he swallowed, dizzy from hanging upside down. You use these constantly. Shadows, darkness, shadow, dark. Let's see. Just a quick review of page 1. Curled along lights, half swallowed by the shadow. Okay. Her expression flickered with every heartbeat. Fear at his nearness, disgust at herself, mistrust sharpening in anger. Backing in, she looked torn apart by her own conflicting. Garrett swallowed and stepped forward slowly, palms open. He had never seen her so uncertain. Arista, her voice cracked through the cavern like a whip. Several massive tentacles struck at once. The impact booming through the chamber and sending heaps of shimmering treasure cascading to the floor. Before Garrett could react, when those limbs lashed out with startling speed, his world inverted. A slick, iron-strong tentacle coiled around his ankle and hoisted him upside down, lifting him high above the glowing pools. The blood rushed to his head and the cavern spun. Arista wait he managed, but she wasn't listening. No more lies, she screamed raw, panicked as her own voice tore her throat. The cavern shook with the force of it. A wave of tentacles surged outward, striking stone and scattering treasure with a sharp metallic clatter across the floor. More treasure. Arista, he choked, folding himself upward, trying to reach the tentacle grip. I'm not lying to you. You are, she hissed. You must be. You should be. Her tone shuddered between fury and despair. More limbs writhed through the shadows. Shadows behind her. That's fine. That's ample space, but thrashing at the air as if she wanted to tear the world apart. One sees this, me, and stays. Her face flickered in and out of view behind the slithering limbs. Regal monsters terrified. Put me down, Garrett said softly, and I'll prove it. The cavern floor spun back. Looking between the gothic shadows that held him. So shadows and shadows, those got repeated. Darkness. Darkness. Okay. Like Rick James, bitch. Okay. Darkness. Through the darkness behind him. Not striking but thrashing at the air as if she wanted to tear the world apart. No one sees this, me, and stays. Her face flickered in and out of view behind the slithering limbs. Regal monsters terrified. You'll run. Her voice splintered into something small, something terrible. You'll scream, you'll fight. Okay, so I use shadow, shadows, and darkness. On the first page. Truth, she whispered. Yes, he swallowed, dizzy from hanging upside down. So long. Not like he swallowed. Yes, he gasped, dizzy from hanging upside down. For so long, but his voice stayed steady. The truth is, I'm terrified. Terrified of you. Terrified for you. Terrified of you ever being alone again. What if I said terrified of you for you? Terrified of you ever being alone again. And I don't know what love will look like between us. I don't know what I'll become, but I'm here. I don't know if this is love between us. But I'm here. I'm choosing to be here right this moment. This moment. Isn't that the only place truth can start? Yes, he gasped, dizzy from hanging upside down so long. The truth is, I'm terrified. Terrified of you. For you. Terrified of you ever being alone again. Mostly terrified of you ever being alone again. Mostly... Yay, disconnected and reconnected. Truth is, I'm terrified. Terrified of you, for you. Mostly terrified of you ever being alone again. And I don't know if this is love between us, but I'm here. I'm choosing to be here at this moment. I choose you. Her grip trembled. You're here because I trapped you, she said, somewhere between a pout and a growl. Here because I dragged you down and didn't give you a chance. Otherwise, you would have left on that raft of yours. What is it? Why do I get the little blue line thingy here? No? What's the issue? Let's see. Cavern. You refer to it a lot. Often when here, the space or nothing at all would suffice. The cavern seemed to tighten. The cavern shook. The cavern floor. The cavern walls. Rule of thumb, the cavern isn't actively doing something new. You don't need to name it again. Let the reader stay oriented with reminders. Okay, let's look at that again. Wrist remained coiled along the light's edge, half swallowed by the shadow. Expression flickered with every heartbeat. Fear at his nearness. Disgust. Uncertain, no, her voice cracked. Through the cavern like a whip. I mean, the first one seems necessary because then we're reestablishing the location. The cavern shook with the force of it. The space shook with the force of it. A wave of tentacles surged outward. First he chokes, folding out and reaches in. If you are, she should be. So she apart. Real life. Okay. The floor spun below him. Field of gold light flickering in the gothic shadows. Oriole screamed, I don't want to hear another man lie. Garrett winced at the pressure at his ankle and spoke with a calm surrender. Okay, sweet. What else? Tentacles. This is the big one, and it's understandable. You frequently stack tentacle, limb, limbs, coils, coiled, wrapped. Problem, the reader already knows what she is. Repeating the anatomy starts to feel mechanical instead of monstrous. Once established, shift to motion. Something tightened, something released, forced, intent, she hesitated, she recoiled. Fear, afraid, terrified. You name the emotion often when the prose is already showing it. Fear, terrified, afraid, panic, panic-stricken. If the sentence already has shaking, tightened, breath loss, stillness, or retreat, you don't need the word fear at all. Okay. Several massive tentacles struck the stone at once. The impact booming through the chamber and sending heaps of shimmering treasure cascading on the floor. Before Garrett could react, one of those limbs lashed out with startling speed, his world inverted. Tentacle, so I could put grip, coiled around his ankle and hoisted him upwards, lifting him high above the glowing pools. The blood rushed to his head, carrying him in more lashes from the drop, panic, drawing voice sore throat. A wave of tentacles. Limbs surged outward. One of those limbs lashed. To reach the tentacle gripping him. Tentacle, tentacles, tentacle, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot. The tentacles. To reach the tendril gripping him. Because I dragged you down and didn't give you the chance. Otherwise, you would have leapt on that raft of yours. Garrett laughed, then silenced at the severity of her look. As she sharply turned him back around. Bringing his face near hers. That pile of sticks never would have made it past the coastline. Garrett laughed, then silenced at the severity of her look as she sharply turned him back again, bringing his face near hers. That pile of sticks never would have made it past the coastline. I built it because I was mad at you. Couples fight. What matters is that we communicate and come to an understanding. Arista's pupils narrowed into golden slits. Horizontal. To golden horizontal slits. Communicate, she spat, while you dangle like bait, while her voice broke. Get the fuck out of here, co-pilot. God, I hate that shit. Communicate, she spat, while you dangle like bait, while her voice broke, the tentacle holding him quivered. The tentacle holding him quivered. The tendril, the long limb holding him quivered. Was the last time I used tentacle. Tentacles tightening with a painful twitch. Tentacles curling. as if in pain. I don't want to hear another man lie. She pivoted him away again as shy guilt flooded her face. Garrett laughed in silence as the severity of her look. When she sharply turned him back around, bringing his face near hers. That pile of sticks never would have made it past the coastline. I built it because I was mad at you. Couples fight. What matters is that we communicate and come to an understanding. Talk it out. Now you want to talk? She spat, while you dangle like bait, while her voice broke. The tentacle. Back to the tentacle. The tentacle holding him quivered. Not with anger, but with something dangerously close to despair. But frustration. See, I got this motivating thought. I just keep thinking about every shitty interview that I've had to do this year and how much I haven't wanted the job and how I've hated having to go on these interviews. And I'm thinking about Menards. I'm thinking about standing there waiting. I'm thinking about the fact that there was an interview right before mine and right after mine, and slots were filling up fast because jobs are hard to come by this right now. It's a terrible, terrible job market. I got a thumbs up for one of my applications that I submitted for a print shop. I'm hoping that's going to be a remote job. We'll see. Tentacle holding him quivered, not with anger now, but frustration. You don't understand what I am. Then show me, Garrett said gently. So I have her pupils narrowing into golden slits, and then I have the same action being repeated. Marissa's pupils narrowed into golden slits. Now you want to talk, she spat. While you dangle like bait, while her voice broke, the tentacle holding him quivered, not with anger, but with frustration. You don't understand what I am. Then show me, Garrett said gently. Like, show doesn't really work. She's kind of shown what she is in this form. Like, she's the sea witch. Like, I love this setup that I got going where it seems like he's falling in love with a mermaid, but lo and behold, like, no, this is the sea witch. This is that primordial evil that we should fear instinctively. You know, she's got this octopus form, which implies, you know, primordial depth and incredible intelligence. Hi, Riz. Hi, dude. She brought him nearer to her face, her eyes wide eyes, narrowing in suspicion. I don't really need to say as she examined him, because that's implied. I want to say it, but it's implied. Wide eyes, narrowing in suspicion. You'll say anything to save yourself. Why should I trust you? That line is a little too blunt. That's a Garrett line. You'll say anything to save yourself. Why should I trust you? Escape my hold. Why should I trust you now? Because without trust, there is no relationship. Because without trust, there is no relationship. I don't want to haphazardly throw something out here. Like my father says. Without trust, there is no relationship. If you truly want love, you'll have to trust someone, and I'm the only one here. Her breath hit him in damp, shuddering waves. Salt, grief, and something older than either of them. Her breath hit him in damp, shuddering waves. Her breath came in damp, shuddering waves. Salt, grief, and something painful. Salt, guilt, and heartache. For a moment she only stared at him, upside down and impossibly vulnerable. Her breath came in damp, shuddering waves, salt, guilt, and heartache. For a moment she only stared at him, upside down and impossibly vulnerable, as if she were trying to decipher the shape of his words inside the shape of his skull. For a moment she only stared at him, upside down and impulsively. She only stared him upside down and her impossibly vulnerable. As if trying to decipher as if trying to decipher the intent of his words by reading the wrinkles on his forehead. Mischief, don't do it. Beet red brow. She lowered him an inch as she turned away. In contemplation. Not mercy, uncertainty. Trust. She repeated the word, warping in her throat, like something bitter she'd been forced to swallow. Do you have any notion how much trust has cost me? It's 2 whole pages so far. God, why does this take so long? Check of these first 2 pages. How's it coming along? What can be improved? Short answer, this is coming along very well. The emotional spine is clear, the power dynamics are sharp, and the scene moves. We've already fixed several of the repetition and over-explanation issues from earlier drafts. What's left now is precision and tightening, not rethinking. I'll do a quick but exact pass, focusing on what to improve rather than rewriting everything. What's working especially well, the power reversal lands immediately, opening with the wrists remain coiled along the light's edge. It's strong, we're grounded in her instability before any action. The fear, anger, shame oscillation reads cleanly and sets up her explosion naturally. The physical action feels dangerous. The inversion, the blood rush, the spinning cavern, all excellent. We feel Garrett's helplessness without melodrama. Dialogue is mostly clean and character true. Garrett sounds human, not heroic. Arista sounds volatile, wounded, and dangerous without becoming cartoonish. What to improve? Specific and fixable. Minor grammar and clarity slips. Easy wins. These are small. Her tone shuddered between fury and despair. This is a fragment that doesn't quite land. Options. Her tone shuddered between fury and despair. Her tone wavered between fury and despair. Okay. Her tone shuddering between... Tone shuddered between fury and despair. No more lies, she screamed, raw, panicked, as if her own voice tore her throat. The simile is almost there, but slightly awkward. As if the sound ripped itself from her, as if the sound itself tore her throat. I like that. Ripped itself from her. She said somewhere between pout and a growl. This pulls a little modern and cute for the tone. She said somewhere between a snarl and a wounded plea, or just cut the descriptor and let the dialogue carry it. Slight overdescription in high-speed moments. This line is your clearest example. The floor spun below him, a field of gold light flickering beneath the gothic shadows that held him suspended. It's not bad, but slows a moment that should feel breathless. The floor spun below him, a field of gold light flickering beneath the shadows that held him suspended. Yeah, you don't need gothic. The chapter already earned that tone. Okay. Tighten a slightly overlong sentence near the end, as if trying to decipher the intent of his words by reading the wrinkles on his beet-red brow. by reading I can take out. So trying to read the intent of his words and the wrinkles of his beet red brow. Big picture note, important. You've done something right here. Arissa's voice feels emotional, not villainous. Garrett's calm feels earned, not saintly. The power imbalance never disappears, it just pauses. That's exactly what this scene needs. At this stage, your best editing rule is if a sentence explains something the reader already feels, shorten it or cut it. You're no longer writing to be understood, you're writing to be felt. If you want, next we can do a dialogue-only polish pass or check emotional escalation consistency along the whole chapter, but yes, this is strong, controlled, and improving in the right direction. I have any idea how much trust is... And that's 2 pages. How long is that? 2 hours. 2 hours to do 2 pages. Jeez. I hope that means I'm doing it right. Okay. I'm going to take a break. I should have had breakfast by now. I fed my animals. I haven't fed myself. The dog needs to go for a proper walk. While I'm at it, I can pick up her pills from the office. Maybe take a shower. Maybe get in a workout. Workout and shower would be good. But I'll definitely be back. But after 2 hours, it's more important that I take a break. That I take care of myself so I don't go brain numb on this. But yeah. Alright. So thank you to anybody watching. Thank you to anybody who's been here this long. I appreciate y'all. I will be back. I will absolutely be finishing this today. Alright. Peace out. Goodbye, Twitch. Goodbye.